I'll be speaking very, very briefly about foreign direct investment regulation. I first thought of an overview, but it's actually not possible to go through the overview in 10 minutes. So it'll be just the super basics. So I'm Ippei Takushima. I am a partner of my law firm, Kimura Takushima Yamaguchi. I spent 5 years in the UK as a child, and after 2000, I became a lawyer, and I am mainly focusing on cross-border corporate and business transactions. And I founded my firm in 2011, and joined this group in 2025. Okay, so I think if I just talk about law, it'll be too boring. So I will talk about this hypothetical today, which is about a startup company in Japan. It's a KK. KK is a kabushiki gaisha. It's the most commonly used form of corporations in Japan. Startup KK is developing an online platform for the sale and purchase of used housing, targeting foreigners. The founder of the KK is Ichiro-san, who is a Japanese national. He invested 10 million yen and owns shares in the company. He is now talking with two potential investors, one of which is Hideki, a Japanese resident. He'll be investing money into the company and get shares in the company. Another potential individual investor is Shohei. He is residing in the United States, and he'll be investing another 5 million yen to get the shares in the company. And they want to complete this investment in 2 weeks. So all looks fine, but there is something called the Foreign Exchange and Foreign Trades Act in Japan, sometimes called FEFTA. And for a transaction like this, one fundamental rule is that if a foreign investor makes an inbound direct investment, then the foreign investor will have to submit a post-transaction report to the Bank of Japan. But sometimes there is a pre-transaction filing requirement. You need to submit some filing before the transaction, and then you have to wait for a 30-day waiting period unless it's exempted, and you cannot complete the transaction until that 30-day waiting period. So you do have to be careful about this rule. So to understand the rule, we'll need to look into what consists foreign investor and what consists inbound direct investment. So under the FEFTA, the foreign investor is defined as follows. So non-Japan resident individuals, meaning foreign residents, or entities, corporations, or other entities formed under non-Japanese laws, foreign entities, they will be considered as foreign investors. And even if a company is a Japanese company, if it's 50% or more owned by foreign residents or foreign entities, they will be considered as foreign investors. So under the hypothetical, Shohei, who is a US resident, will be considered a foreign resident. The next, what's defined as inbound direct investment. So there's a pretty long list. This list here is a summary, not exhaustive, but you can see in the list that if you acquire shares of a company in Japan, that's most likely be considered an inbound direct investment. And acquisition of shares of a non-public company will always qualify as inbound direct investment. So under the hypo, the startup KK was obviously a non-public company, so Shohei's investment will be considered an inbound direct investment. Okay, so then the next question we have to consider is it subject to the pre-transaction filing requirement? So the rule is, if the inbound direct investment is related to a designated business sector, then the pre-transaction filing is required, and the transaction is subject to a 30-day waiting period unless you're exempted from that requirement. And so the question is what the designated business sectors are. And this is actually quite complicated. You have to go through like 4 long lists to determine if something qualifies as a designated business sector. So the first category is core business sector: weapons, aircraft, space, nuclear, infectious disease medicines, and also it includes cybersecurity related businesses. And then non-core designated business sectors will include electricity, gas, water supply, etc., etc. But it also includes software. So this kind of complicates the matter. So whenever the company sells or develops software, we kind of have to think of if that becomes an issue or if that triggers a pre-transaction filing requirement. So first rule is if the software is related to cybersecurity under the rules of the FEFTA, then it will be required, a pre-transaction filing is required. And the list actually includes this requirement that if the software is specifically designed to handle personal information of 1 million or more persons, then that's considered cybersecurity related. So this is something that you need to be aware of. And also, if a software is developed by a company engaged in what's called a list 3 businesses, and it develops software for its own use, then it will not be subject to a pre-transaction filing. So I think you're already a bit confused, but it's quite complicated. Under the hypo, as at the very least, it's Shohei's obligation to verify if startup KK's business is a designated business. And under this hypothetical, we don't know the details of startup KK, but probably it does not trigger a pre-transaction filing requirement because startup KK is developing a platform, but the platform is only for buying and selling real estate in Japan, which is considered as list 3 business under the FEFTA. So takeaway is, when there is a foreign investor investing in a Japanese company, you have to be aware of the FEFTA rules, and to determine if the transaction triggers a FEFTA pre-transaction filing, you have to contact and consult a lawyer. So my contact information is here, and that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.